How are you doing?
Good.
Well, I'm not so good. I was only up at 5:30, online at 6:30 to make sure this was working, which it was for a while, for like 2 minutes. And then my internet started going on and off, mostly off. How are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Mr. Ellison, once they back away from the mic, it's really hard to hear them, and the microphone is at the front of the room at a desktop computer. So.
Okay. I could go off at any time here because clearly this service is intermittent at best.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Okay. I can hear you guys, but I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay on. Cincinnati Bell is not doing its job. So let me see what I can do here. I want to share an app. First of all, I'm glad to be here, even if it is 7 in the morning, and even though my internet is sick. And let me see here. I've got to go to the course. What I wanted to do today is, well, let me put it this way. How many of you feel comfortable working with Blackboard? Anybody?
I asked them and found out that they don't have their accounts yet, so I'll address that today before I hop my plane home.
Okay. All right. So what I wanted to do this morning is just to walk you through, at least do this, to walk you through the Blackboard course site so that you would begin, and to describe the course a little bit, just in terms of the syllabus. It's very important that you learn, that you feel comfortable enough with Blackboard. Occasionally, if somebody can just give a shout out, because I have no clue whether I'm coming through or not. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah.
Okay, terrific. So you need to feel comfortable with Blackboard. And then what I want to try to do, can you guys see the Blackboard site adequately from where you are?
No. It says waiting for application to start.
Okay. Is there somebody there who can get the Blackboard site up?
Try sharing the app again, Mr. Ellison.
Okay.
Place it on standby.
Let's see if this works.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's coming up. It's beautiful. And green.
Okay, do you see something that's green?
Yeah.
Okay, I think if you can't see this web page from where you are, if your instructor or teacher there will allow you, you should move closer so that you can see it. Because what I'm going to do will be much less effective if you can't really read things. So I need you guys to be as close enough to the screen so that you can read it. Is that possible? Is that something you can do? Can you see it now? Can you read it? Okay. So when you log into your course, this is the first thing you're going to see. It's the announcements page. And the first thing, first announcement just kind of orients you and says, okay, here are the different parts of the course on Blackboard. And then down below it, there's something that's about communicating with the instructor. That's me. Okay? If you send me an email, you will be on my list for a long time. Okay? And I'm not going to say the word that comes before list. But you do not want to send me an email. You first want to use the course message function, which you should be able to find in one of these green boxes when you get on the website. That's your way to communicate with me, because I got gazillion people sending me emails. Most of them I don't want to receive. Yours I do want to receive, and the best way for me to receive them is if you send them within the course, because only students in the course can use that function. Okay? So if you need to get a hold of me, use the course message function. If you need to call me on the telephone, you can do that. If you look here, there's another one of the boxes. It says instructor. If you click on that, you will see my phone number. Okay? I guess I can't spell too well. I'll fix that. Okay. So we're back to the announcements page, hopefully, if my internet's working. So these green boxes are what you will use to navigate the Blackboard course. If you go to start this, then now I'm just going to go down all the way down the list. So what you see where it says start here are two very important documents. You can download them or print them out. They are subject to change. Normally I give, an hour and a half or 3-hour lectures with a break. And your class meets, I guess, somewhere in the range of 45 or 50 minutes. And so I have no clue how quickly we're going to get through the chapter topics, but this is my best guess, and it's subject to revision. But what this means is that by the 1st of September, you should have read the first 3 chapters of this book. Do you have this book?
No.
Okay. One of the things I will try to do, and I've been meaning to do, is to post some information that will enable you to access the first 3 chapters of the textbook online for free. Okay? But do you know how to order the book or get the book? Yes or no? You know how to get the book?
No.
Okay, you better find that out very quickly. Otherwise, you're in deep trouble. Okay? I'm not sure how to do that.
I'll reach out to Amanda, Mr. Ellison, and find out what the plan is at this high school.
Okay. All right. So what time does this class end? 7:50?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to give you, Lacey, at least the last 5 minutes. All right, so this is the course calendar, day by day, what chapters we're going to be looking at. And the course is basically organized along the organization of the textbook, even though I would prefer to do it a different way. It's just going to be easier for you, and so that's what I'm going to do. If you scroll down, now here, before I scroll down, this right here is right where it says attached files is where you can print out, copy, download, whatever, the course calendar. Then if you scroll down, you will see this is the course syllabus. This is long and wordy like your professor. Okay? They pay me by the word, so I talk a lot. And you need to read this very carefully because this is your single best guide to the course objectives, how the course is organized, what your due dates are going to be. I haven't posted those yet, They'll be posted in several places. What your assignments are, how I grade you, when you can withdraw and get a W, how, makeup policy, how to communicate with the instructor. We've already covered that. How I do grading, and what points are attached to each of the assignments, and various support services that might be available to you beyond your school. So I want to look here for the assignments so you have some idea of what your assignments are going to be, and so far I'm not finding them. I guess I didn't put them on here. Okay. I just said there, okay. There are really 3 different assignments that you're going to have. I'm going to start with the easy one first. You're going to have a final exam. I'm not going to give you quizzes. I'm not going to give you a midterm test. It's probably unconventional, but then I'm rather unconventional. What I will do in order to see that you're doing work on a regular chapter-by-chapter basis, topic-by-topic basis, is to ask you to make one discussion board posting for each chapter as we come to it. As soon as we start a new chapter, a new topic, and I'll tell you when that is, you will need to make a post. And I'm requiring that you've done the reading for that chapter before we start it. And the reason why is really twofold. Number one, you'll understand much better what information I'm conveying. And secondly, I will seem much smarter if you read the chapter first. That's very important. You guys, I guess humor is, it's too early in the morning for humor?
Yeah.
Well, get used to it, because humor is really important, especially, not only in life, but especially in academia, which is one of the most humorless places in the world. Okay, we take ourselves a little seriously, too seriously. Although I will say Ivy Tech is not like that. Ivy Tech is very student-oriented and really tries to help students do what they need, accomplish what they need to accomplish. Okay, so again, assignment 1, you will have an exam, a final exam. I can't tell you anything more about that at this point. I'm just trying to get the course configured on Blackboard. Secondly, you will have to make one post for each chapter in the textbook. That's 15 posts, because there are 15 chapters, there are 15 weeks, 10 points a post. Then there are 4 writing assignments. This is going to be the bulk of the course. Why? Because my teaching philosophy is that students should not be asked to simply regurgitate what the instructor says. So the assignments are deliberately meant to be difficult, but also to really help you learn in a way that a test or a quiz to see what you know about a chapter will allow you to develop. So each of these writing assignments, they'll be spread out during the term, is 100 points. So the total points in the course are 650. 400 of the points are writing assignments, and I'll talk about those in a moment. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, questions are good things. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay, I just clicked on the discussions box, and up comes the discussion board. And I posted some guidelines for posting on the discussion board here, and in yellow there. These are some guidelines. And there are also more are listed. A few are listed on the syllabus, and I've put them all in here under assignments. So if you click on the assignments box, the first thing that comes up says guidelines for discussion board posts. So here they are. 3 or 4 sentences, 10 points for a 100% score for your post, and then there's some comment further about how to do the post and what it should look like. So we're really talking about 3 to 4 sentences. If you're really good, two sentences will do if they're 2 good sentences. So the discussion board, going back to the discussion board here, is the way you post. I think I'm maybe stealing some of Lacey's commentary. Is you just go on here and you start a thread. So you click on this, and it says create thread. Click on that, and then you post whatever it is you want to post. I want to talk about the assignments. Any questions?
No.
Okay. I've got 2 of the assignments up so far. I'll describe them briefly. There is a long, long list of instructions right here, assignment instructions and guidance. How I want you to approach these paper assignments. Okay, and so you should read through this very carefully, how to do your research, what the paper should look like. It's basically, I'm asking for a 3 to 4 page type paper. And you will be able to submit that online. Just like you'll be able to, well, not like, somewhat different than the discussion posts, which you'll also be able to do online, but these will be, you'll be able to submit them online. And the purpose, there are really several purposes of these assignments. The main one is, I want you to think hard about American political life. And I want you to develop your writing skills. If my information is correct, cursive is no longer taught in Indiana. I can't even begin to imagine why, but you won't do this in cursive, but you will need to know how to write, not only to be successful in college, but to be successful professionally. It's very, very important in my judgment. So what I'm trying to do with these assignments is to get you to think about not just, the Congress has a Senate and the House of Representatives, or the President's elected for 4 years and then gets to, hold office again if he gets reelected or she gets reelected for 4 more years. But what the so-called facts of American government and politics mean. And they mean different things to different people. And one of the reasons there's a lot of political conflict in almost all governments, in almost all societies, is that people mean different things by the words that they use. And so the first assignment really deals with the Constitution and how we understand what the Constitution means and provides, what it is, how are we to understand it today, right now, even though it was written almost 225 years ago. So the first question, and the Bardis textbook will help you to an extent, but only to an extent. This is an effort to get you to think carefully about how we should understand the Constitution. The second paper is how we should understand federalism, the relationship of federalism and political change. And the Bardis textbook talks about the federal system and different viewpoints on the federal system. And so some say that the federal system allows for political change. Others say, well, no, not really. It tends to prevent it. And so what I've done is to select an issue of political change, which I think is maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest, political changes in the last 5 years. And that's the issue of gay marriage. And so this is not an assignment about is gay marriage good, bad, or in between. It's an assignment that looks at, on the one hand, the 19 states plus the District of Columbia in which gay marriage is now legal, and the 31 states where it's still illegal. How is it that in a mere 5 years, when 5 years ago gay marriage was illegal everywhere in the United States of America, now we have 20 jurisdictions where it's legal? How did that change occur? What's the relationship between, so you're going to be actually looking at how those changes occurred, who is responsible for them, and then how that helps us understand the nature of federalism with respect to political change. The third and fourth assignments I've not written yet, and I'm going to stop in a minute and see if you guys have questions. The third assignment, I want you to understand how Congress works, to the degree that it works. And I've started to write this assignment, but I haven't finished it yet. And again, what I'm doing is picking out one piece of legislation that actually passed, and that's the Lilly Ledbetter Act. That was passed, I believe, in 2009. And so what I'm going to want you to do is to conduct research on that law from the very beginning, when it was introduced, what happened to it, who opposed it, who supported it, who proposed it, why it didn't pass initially, it then had to be reintroduced, to understand the difficulties involved in a very concrete case involved in Congress passing legislation. Assignment number 4, I'm sure you've all done this. I'm going to write an assignment on the presidency. I'm going to ask you to pretend that you're president. And maybe even one day it won't be pretend. But I want you to pretend that you're president, and then I want you to do work, and I'll write this, and it'll be detailed. I want you to examine all or as many of the important obstacles to president's decision-making power as possible. Why am I doing this? Americans are and have been fixated on the president. Not the president, not just the presidency, but the president. This is a long time ago. None of you were born yet, but 40 years ago, Richard M. Nixon resigned as President of the United States. And Gerald R. Ford, who was Vice President at the time, became President. And the next morning, the first item on the news was that Gerald Ford was a real person because he made his own English muffins. I'm not making this up. Who cares how does that matter to the American people, really, in terms of the quality of our political life and the quality of, and the ability of the federal government to provide for the well-being and welfare of the American people? It's totally irrelevant. What kind of putter did George Bush use, or does Barack Obama use? Who cares? It doesn't matter. But it's easy for Americans to focus on the personality of the president. And almost always, every president comes to be unliked by the majority of people. So if you want that job, consider that. If you like making friends, being president is not a very good way to do it. It is initially, but then there's a huge fall off. So, but I want you to look at what kind of obstacles there are to the president's power. And what are the limitations on the president's power? We Americans act like presidents can wave a magic wand and something will be done. Well, not true. So, so that's what I'm about in that. I'm about out of time here. Again, at the instructor box, that's my phone number, a little information misspelled, and then your grade. I can't access your grade, anything from this grade box, but you should be able to access your grades. And I think I'm going to turn it over to Lacey to see what she has to say, and anybody else. Before I do that, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, concerning the papers, do you want them in MLA format?
I want them in a consistent, academically acceptable format. Whatever format you have learned that's comfortable for you, that's fine with me as long as it's consistent. The papers, speaking of format, the papers should be 3 to 4 pages. They should have a title page with your name on it and the title of your paper. It should have a reference or a page or a bibliography or a reference cited. It should have a footnote page unless you're using, a reference style. And by 3 to 4 pages, I mean 3 to 4 pages of text. If you include charts, graphs, images, those shouldn't count in the 3 to 4 pages, nor should the title page or the reference bit or footnote or bibliography page. Other questions? Feel free. It's only 7:45. Again, let me stress, it's really important for you to get familiar with Blackboard. Maybe you could team up. It might make it a little easier and less frustrating as you work through accessing the resources on the Blackboard course. And it's very important that you get a textbook. I mean, if you need one, if you're having problems, this book can be ordered online through Amazon.com. I don't get a kickback. I'm not recommending you anything about Amazon.com other than it seems to be ubiquitous, and probably some of you have used it in the past, and you can get the book quickly, even if a couple of you go in together, to lower the cost. So you really want to get the Bardess book. Let me say one other thing about the Bardess book, and then here it is, B-A-R-D-E-S. It's the 2013-2014 edition. And one other thing I want to say about intro American government textbooks, they're all horrible. This one is among the better ones that are horrible, because they're all horrible. What I mean, the reason I said, it's not that you shouldn't read it, you should read it with great care, but there are nuances and I mean, it is an introductory book. So a more sophisticated, in my judgment, a more sophisticated understanding of American government and politics cannot be found on TV, and it can't be found in an intro American government textbook. It is what it is, which is an introductory book. Lacey, go ahead.
The only thing I have to add is in the chat box there in the bottom left corner of your screen, I have placed my email address and my office phone number. Instead of using the usual Ivy Tech tech support for this course, I'll be your tech support, so please feel free to reach out to me. I will get the information to your instructor there at Harrison County so that you can get into Blackboard, and we'll get you rolling and give you the opportunity to get into the Campus Connect and into Blackboard, and so you'll have that access. Are there any questions on your all side for the technology?
Yeah, I have one. Mrs. Fessel is not going to be here till next week. She's got family issues, so if you email her the information that you're stating, the kids won't get it till next week.
That explains a lot. Will you be there the rest of the week?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Well, since you have this awesome opportunity to hang out with these guys early in the morning, do you mind shooting me an email so that I have a copy of your email, and then we can, I'll make sure that you get this information when I get to the airport today.
Okay. Is your email somewhere where I can see it?
It should be on the bottom left corner of the screen. The students know where it is, don't y'all?
It's right there.
Right where?
If I could, let me make one final point, and that is I could not believe that my internet went down several times this morning. I will not miss a class unless bricks fall on my house or a plane or there's an earthquake or something like that. I get up early in the morning. I log on, 20 minutes or so before the class is supposed to start. I don't know how to contact anyone there, but Lacey will, based on the conversation about the email. But if I'm not here, it is not because I overslept. No, I wish sometimes I could. It is going to be because something is not right. Okay? So get your access to Ivy Tech, the Ivy Tech website, get your access to Blackboard, get your textbook, and start reading. Have a nice day. Thank you.
I'm going to have to go ahead and hit the road. We're on a pretty tight
Lacey.
schedule to get Thaddeus back today.
I'm sure. Please take care.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.